Hi, I'm Paris, and I've been away from the channel for a while because I've been kind of floundering. You may remember in my last video that I was struggling to get a handle on the weight gain that was happening because the cancer drug that I'm on turned my metabolism to mush. And so I was putting on about a pound a week, and it's been a real struggle, but finally been able to plateau. Actually took a couple pounds off, but I'm keeping my weight right at about 200, and that's been a major effort. My oncologist told me in my last visit about 10 days ago that because my testosterone was so low down to undetectable, that my metabolism was equally suppressed and that it was going to require major effort on my part to not put the weight on because I had no metabolism helping me. Well, anyway, I've adjusted some things, learned some more things, doubled down on some things, and finally got that to plateau. I don't know how I'm going to get the 15 to 20 pounds back off, but at least I'm not putting any more on right now. I've also been up to Seattle to help my father out. He was in an assisted living place where he managed to not get COVID for 2 full years, but then in January, this last January, he got COVID, and as a result, he had some mild symptoms, but he had reactive arthritis. So his knees, which were already in pretty bad shape, just became excruciatingly painful, and he wasn't able to move himself around anymore. And since he needed 2 people to be able to lift him in and out of his chair, they don't provide that level of service. So I got to have a crash course in what happens when you can no longer stay in an assisted living place. I assumed it was nursing home from there, but it turns out the world has changed over the last 20 years, and now this adult group homes, small setting care homes that you don't need that full-time nursing care of a nursing home, then you can go to an adult group home. I'll do another video about that, but I had lots to learn and to find people who could help and then to move him and make all of those arrangements. So seeing another one of those life transitions for my father and, looking ahead myself to dealing with those things someday had me thinking about lots of stuff as well. So maybe I was in kind of a funk. It was a funky floundering as I tried to regain my bearings and find a way to move forward. Now, one thing with the changes that I made so I could maintain this weight and at least not gain anymore is I put a rather major goal out in the future, which is when I'll finally be done with my Lupron treatment, the last of my cancer treatments, and I can finally have my red blood cells come back to normal levels and have my metabolism come back up and have some actual energy, be able to build some more muscle. So I'll talk about that in another video, but that's almost a year and a half out in the future. So I needed something more in the near term to guide my way, and my wife had this suggestion. She's said that you're so interested, because I'm always bugging her and the family about their eating and their lifestyle. Since I've made the changes to improve my health, I'd like to see them do that too. But I've learned so much about that, and I'd like to help people who are going through either what I did or some other chronic illnesses that really can be helped by making changes to lifestyle and diet, rather than just saying, well, I got the bad luck of the draw, I got the bad genes, this is just how it is, and think there's not something they can do about it. So she told me, why don't you go take some classes, get some certification about nutrition and health, so that you can then go and speak to other people about that. So being in a floundering funk, I said, nah, I don't want to do that. And I put off even looking into it for a couple of months. But finally, I have started to look into that as something for the next year and a half, the shorter term goal. And some of it actually looks rather appealing. I've found a number of things you can do online, some of which strike me more as this is a quick way for the school to make some money, and you get a certification that lets you go out and say you're a certified something or another coach. But it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of education. Isn't the primary goal there. It's more for them to get their tuition, for you to get your certificate, and then go out and do your business with your certification. One nutrition-based course that I looked into was talking about didn't pass the exam, the final exam to get your certification. Don't worry, you can have 5 attempts at it. And I thought, gee, I guess, even in medical school, what do you call the student who finished last? You still call them doctor, but still, that didn't seem to be for me. So I found one that's offered by a course that's offered by Cornell University online, and it's a plant-based nutrition course, which is exactly what I'm interested in. And I dislike, but also like that they say very specifically on their website that you get a certificate when you've completed it, but you are not certified in anything. So they want to make sure you don't think this qualifies you to go out and offer medical advice to people, because it definitely doesn't. Only the doctors should be doing that. So the course is both for one's own education, and I could certainly do with more of that. I've sort of been a DIY project trying to figure out all these things of the best ways to eat and other lifestyle things that can help with illnesses that I've had to deal with. So having some actual instruction in that would be good. But also, if you are offering things, I would say, for someone else's consideration, something they might want to consider, and they might want to go talk to their doctor about, hey, I heard about this, do you think this might be a good idea? Then it's a good idea for that sort of thing too. I'm not planning to go back and get an education that would allow me to actually be able to offer medical advice, but rather, I don't know, something more along the lines of being a nutrition coach. But I don't know that I like that name so much. I sort of more prefer to be a nutrition choir boy, someone who's singing the praises of what has worked for me and what I know to be healthy. And so if somebody hears the tune and wants to sing along and join the choir, all the better. The other thing that seems fortuitous is that the next session of this course begins July 6th. Now, July 5th, I'm going up to Dallas. I have my 1-year follow-up with my radiation oncologist for the proton therapy radiation treatment I had for the prostate cancer. And I'm expecting it'll be an all good report, and I shouldn't have to go back probably for another year. So that's on July 5th. July 6th seems to be the day I should start on that new project. So getting a more structured, plant-based nutritional education should help me make better decisions for myself and to offer better suggestions to anyone else who's also interested in trying it. It's also a win-win for my wife, who won't have me moping around saying, I don't know what I want to do. And the other good thing about a spouse is over time, they get to know you better than you know yourself. And so when you lose your way, fortunately, you have someone there who can help point you in the direction that they know is something you would enjoy, that would provide you with satisfaction, and may get you out of their hair. So I do owe a big debt of gratitude to my family for everything they've done for me, especially over the past couple years with my illness, but also in helping to show me the way that's best for me. But all I can say is when I'm finished with this and I've come around to redouble my efforts to try to get them to improve their diet and lifestyle, remember where this all started. And I'll see you on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for. We give honest reviews. parristx.